Hey there, it's me, Allie from bakingamoment.com. The winter holidays are quickly approaching, and if you're anything like me, that can only mean one thing: cookies. I love making all sorts of different types of cookies around the Christmas season. My boys and I eat them here at home, and we also give a lot away to our friends as gifts. One of my favorite types of cookie to make is just a simple cutout cookie. They're really special. You get to break out all your fun holiday cookie cutters, and sitting down with all your different icing colors and decorating is such a fun project to do, especially if you have little ones. I got into this as a hobby about 10 years ago, and it was really a fun learning experience for me. I found that it was really difficult to make a cutout cookie that didn't spread in the oven, which can really be a downer because you have these cute cookie cutter shapes and you spend all this time cutting them out and placing them on the tray carefully, and then when you pull them out of the oven, they just kind of turn into shapeless blobs. You can't even really tell what they're supposed to be anymore. So I did a whole bunch of research, tried to understand the science behind it, and I came up with some really great tricks that pretty much eliminate that problem. So as I'm going along here, I might end up saying some things that strike you as different or strange, or maybe don't make perfect sense to you. I promise there's a method to my madness here. And if you'd like a more in-depth explanation of why I do things this way, then just click over to the link that I've included in the description here. There's tons more information there. So let's get started by first talking about the ingredients and the tools that you're going to need in order to make this recipe. To make Christmas cookies that don't spread in the oven, you will need unsalted butter, granulated sugar, eggs, all-purpose flour, cornstarch, salt, and vanilla. Vanilla extract is fine, but if you can get your hands on either a real vanilla bean or a jar of vanilla bean paste, it will really take the flavor of your cookies to the next level. Just makes them a little bit more special. You're also going to need parchment paper sheets, baking trays, a rolling pin, cookie cutters, and probably some kind of an electric mixer. A stand mixer is best just because it's so powerful, and this is going to be a very stiff dough. But if you don't have one, you can use an electric hand mixer. People sometimes ask me if they can do this by hand, and the answer is, I mean, anything is possible, but you're really going to need a lot of arm strength. Now, if you could just take a second to hit the like button for me, I would appreciate it so much. Hopefully you're enjoying the information that I've given you so far, and there's even more great stuff to come. So the first step is to combine the butter and sugar. I like to do this on a lower speed. We're not really trying so much to cream them together and whip a whole lot of air in. We really just want a smooth, even mixture. Unlike a lot of other cookie recipes, we don't want it to get really fluffy. That's just going to cause spreading. Next, you're going to add in your eggs. Put them in one at a time. Don't add the next egg until the last one is completely incorporated. Next, the dry ingredients go in. Flour, cornstarch, and salt. Mix these in on medium-low speed. At first, you might think you've done something wrong. The mixture is extremely dry and sandy. I promise you, if you keep working it, it will come together into a dough. It will be a very stiff dough, but it will come together. If you're using a stand mixer, just keep running that mixer. If all you have is a hand mixer, or if you're mixing them by hand, then you might need to get in there with your clean hands and kind of knead it almost like bread dough. Once that dough is pulling cleanly away from the sides of the mixing bowl, you can add in your vanilla. And P.S., vanilla isn't the only way to do these. You can add any kind of extract you like. I think almond extract would be really nice, lemon extract or orange extract. Butternut extract would taste really nice. Feel free to get creative. And while we're on the subject, if you're looking for a chocolate version, I also have that on my website, as well as a gingerbread version. I'll be sure to link to those recipes as well. So now that your dough is made, guess what? You don't have to chill it. It's ready to go right from the start. Grab your 2 sheets of parchment paper, and working with a small amount of dough at a time, you're gonna sandwich it between the parchment and roll it out with your rolling pin. I like to use rolling pin rings. It's a really cheap and cheerful solution to ensuring that all your cookies are exactly the same thickness. And you can roll these out to any thickness you like. Personally, I like to go somewhere between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. In other words, 3/8. The thinner you roll your dough, the less time it will need to bake in the oven and the more cookies you will end up with. And vice versa. If you're rolling it really thick, they might need to bake a little longer and your yield won't be quite as high. Once you have your dough all rolled out in an even thickness, just peel off that top layer of parchment and you can go to town with your cookie cutters. Because we're using parchment and not sprinkling the worktop with additional flour, you can keep reusing any scraps without the cookies becoming tough or dry. Place the cutout cookies on a parchment-lined baking sheet and bake them in a preheated oven until the edges are set, but the centers are still soft. The final result of this cookie is gonna have not really a crunchy texture, not really a soft and gooey texture. It's kind of more like shortbread. So it's very tender, it kind of crumbles and melts in your mouth, but it's firm and it's sturdy enough to hold up to transporting them, gifting them, or even shipping them. Once the cookies are cool enough to handle, you can start having fun with decoration. I really love to decorate them with royal icing, and I have a great royal icing recipe. I hope you have as much success with this cookie recipe as I have had. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave me a comment. I love hearing from you. Click the subscribe button if you want to be notified every time I come out with a new tutorial. Enjoy!